Hi Cornerstone kids, we are glad that you're with us again today. And I don't know if you remember last week, but last week I asked each of you that if you had something that you were doing at home to help you not be bored, to send us your ideas and we could share them with other kids so that if those kids got bored, they could try your idea. So, and I also told you that there was someone at my house, this one right here, that never ran out of things to do to keep herself from becoming bored. She actually does become bored a little, but she has lots of ideas. Okay, so here's one of the ideas we're going to share with you. And today's, what we're going to share today is kinetic sand. I don't know if you've ever bought any, or maybe you've already made some, but we have always bought it at the store. So here's how you can make kinetic sand. You need sand, and we were lucky enough to have some colored sand, so that's helpful too, but you can also use food coloring to color your regular sand that you get at the beach. The second, yep, say it again.
Cornstarch.
The second ingredient that you need is cornstarch, and the third ingredient that you need for kinetic sand is
oil.
Oil. Okay, so whatever you use to measure, we're just using a spoon because we're not making a lot of it. You can also use a cup or whatever. You need 5 spoonfuls of sand or 5 cupfuls of sand or whatever you're using to measure. The second ingredient, go ahead, you want to tell them about this one? You need 3 spoonfuls of cornstarch or cups of cornstarch if you're using
whatever
cups.
you are using.
Mm-hmm. So there's number 2. We need 1 more.
One more. Come here. And
there is the 3rd spoonful of cornstarch. So you're gonna mix up your sand and your cornstarch. Okay, and then you will add the last ingredient, which is
oil.
And we just need 1 of these. So let me see your spoon.
A little more than 1, but probably good.
Yeah. You're gonna mix up the oil, the cornstarch, and the sand. And it does take a couple minutes to stir up. So we have one that we completed already. So this is one that we did earlier, and we spent some time already mixing it. But you'll see once you finish like this, it's more like moldable. Like I can make a ball with this kinetic sand.
Because the sand is just drops from your hand.
Yeah, it's very different than than regular sand that just like falls. You can actually mold it sort of like Play-Doh. And this is one of the things that you can do to sort of like help pass the time of these days. Natalie is sharing that she also enjoys making slime.
And
do black. She has a list. So if you need some ideas, you know who to call. Okay, you take the kinetic sand while we start. And if you've been with us for these weeks, you know that we've been talking about the 7 I am statements of Jesus, okay? And we have done 6, so today's going to be our last one. And they are 7 things that Jesus says about himself. He says, I am, and then he fills in the blank. And all of these statements help us learn something new about him. And we're gonna go through the 6 pretty fast. If you remember number 1, Jesus said, I am, you might see this bread here, because Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Okay, he said that I will satisfy your heart like bread satisfies your belly. Okay, the second thing that we talked about was Jesus said, I am a light bulb, sort of. He said, I am the light of the world. That he lights up spiritual darkness, just the way like a light in your bedroom lights up the physical darkness that's around you. He also said, third statement, Jesus said, he was like a gate. He said, I am the gate of the sheep. It's like a gate that blocks the sheep's pen, right? The sheep are all in there, maybe sleeping, maybe eating, and there's this gate that protects them from getting lost, also protects them from any danger coming in. And that's what Jesus says, I am for you. I am like the gate of the sheep. Now, this is, what was this, fourth. He said, I am the good shepherd. Okay, you see the sheep and the shepherd? Because he is our protector, and he's the one, it says that, we talked about that story where Jesus says, if I have 99 sheep but one gets lost, I'm going to go look for them. That's what he says about you and me. If you get lost, he will come find you. Even if he has 1,000 other sheep with him, he doesn't want to even lose one. He will not lose you without searching. Here you see the cross and the tomb because Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. He is the only one, Jesus is the only one that has power over life and death. And he brought Lazarus back to life in our story we talked about. And he also has an eternal life that he gives to you and me. He's the resurrection and the life. Last week, okay, this is number 6. You see just like, sort of like a path or a trail or a road because Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He said, he is the way to heaven. He is the one that guides us in our life here on earth. He gives us direction and helps us know which path to take. He's the way, the truth, and the life. Now, today, we are going to read the very last I am statement number 7 that Jesus gives us. And it is in the Bible, of course. And it is in the book of John, just like the other 6, okay? So the book of John is close to the end. And we are going to learn in this, John chapter 15. So if you don't have it yet, go there. John chapter 15. Jesus says, I am the true grapevine. Now, in Jesus' time, grapevine, it was very common. Everybody knew what a grapevine looked like, and you probably do too. I don't know if you've seen one before, but grapes grow, there's like a sort of like a fat vine with branches coming off of it, and then the grapes grow on those branches. And that's what Jesus is saying about himself. I am the big vine in the middle. And we'll talk about what that means a little bit more. But if you have your Bible, go to John, and it's chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 1, okay? He says, I am the true vine. My Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch joined to me that does not bear fruit. He trims every branch that does bear fruit. Then it will bear even more fruit. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain joined to me, and I will remain joined to you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain joined to the vine. In the same way, you can't bear fruit unless you remain joined to me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If anyone remains joined to me, and I to him, he will bear a lot of fruit. You can't do anything without me. If anyone does not remain joined to me, he is like a branch that is thrown away and dries up. Branches like those are picked up, they are thrown into the fire and burned. If you remain joined to me, and my words remain in you, ask for anything you wish and it will be given to you. When you bear a lot of fruit, it brings glory to my Father. It shows that you are my disciples. And that was John 15. I started at verse 1 and I ended at verse 8. And you might have noticed that there were 3 parts that Jesus talked about, and I'll draw them up here. He first said, I am the vine. And here is the vine. And Jesus said that this was him. he is the vine. And he said that we are the branches. So I'm going to add those branches on. And usually branches also have some leaves attached to them. Okay, so he said, I'm the vine, and we, me and you, we're the branches. So I'm going to put branches equals us, me and you. Okay, now, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but if you think about a tree, maybe you have some in your yard or nearby your house, if you cut off one of those branches and take it into your bedroom, which you might have done before with maybe like a leaf or something. Now, do those apples that were growing outside, do they grow in your bedroom when you take that branch off? If you cut off that branch and you take it to your bedroom, or you take it outside, you put it in the car, it's not going to bear any fruit, is it? It's going to die eventually, but it's not going to be growing apples because branches have to be attached to the vine, like we're talking about here, or the tree trunk, if we're talking about a tree. The branches have to stay attached to the vine, the true vine. And that's what Jesus says about me and you. We have to stay connected to him if we want to have good things coming out of our life, good fruit. Now, that's the other thing that he's talking about. Okay, so he says, if you stay connected to me, you will have good fruit. And in this case, he's talking about a grapevine. So we'll draw some grapes. Now, you might be thinking like, what? Are grapes gonna grow on my arms? Is that what Jesus is saying? If you stay connected to him, fruit will grow like grapes or apples off your arms? No. He does say that we are like branches, and out of us should come good fruit. Now, what does he mean by fruit? He means that like good stuff, that good stuff that comes out. Now, let me share two verses. The first one is in Matthew 7:17. And in Matthew 7:17, it says, in the same way, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree can't bear bad fruit, and a bad tree can't bear good fruit. And he wants you and me to be connected to him so that we bear good fruit. Now, the second verse that I wanted to read is Galatians 5, and it's verse 22. And this is an example. This is what Jesus means by good fruit for you and me. He doesn't mean apples and oranges or grapes, okay? This is what he means. He says, the fruit of the Holy Spirit produces in us love, joy, and peace. It is being patient, kind, and good. It is being faithful and gentle and having control of oneself. So when he says, if you and me, branches, remember we're the branches, if we stay connected to him, the vine, then good fruit's going to come out. And the good fruit he's talking about is patience and love and joy and controlling ourselves. All of those are what Jesus considers to be good fruit. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not very kind, or I sure haven't been joyful, I've kind of been like just having a bad attitude about everything and sort of like a sad look on my face, and I definitely haven't been very nice to people around me. All of those things are like a clue to me and you that we're not connected to Jesus. That we need to get better connected to Jesus by reading his word and praying so that good things, good fruit comes out of us, so that we're patient and kind and loving and joyful. And that's the good fruit that comes out when we stay connected to the vine. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is Jesus says, I am the true vine. Now when we hear that, we think, what's the opposite of true? And we think, if Jesus says, I am the true vine, we know there must be a false vine. Is that right? So this is what I want you to think about, and if you were here with me, I'd ask you to tell me some of your ideas. But I'll have to read your mind from here, okay? So if Jesus is the true vine that we have to stay connected to, some false vines that we might think are going to be good, that's what I want you to try to think of something for. So if I think, if I just had a lot of money, my life would be so good. It'd be so easy to be kind and loving and patient if I just had a lot of money and a nice house and a nice car and all of those things. If I stay connected to money, good things are going to come out of my life. And Jesus says, no, that's a false vine. I am the true vine. You can also think, the only thing I care about right now is doing good in school. If I just do good in school, the rest of my life will be good. That's a false vine. What if you think, if I could just be connected to those kids at school that are popular, or if I just had a lot of friends instead of one or two, my life would be so much better. If I'm just connected to people and friends, good things are going to come out of my life. And Jesus says all of those are false vines. Not bad things. Lots of people dream and work towards getting a lot of money. Lots of people work towards building up a lot of friendships, getting good grades in school. All of those are not bad things, but they are not what we're connected to. They're not the reason that good things come out of our life. Jesus is. And so I want you to think about the connecting yourself to the good, the true vine, okay? And if we do that, good things will come out. He does say, I don't know if you remember this part, let me go back to John 15, that's where we're reading. It says, he cuts off every branch joined to me that does not bear fruit. And he does cut off things in our life that we think we need. And that kind of hurts us sometimes because we might lose a friend or something that we dreamed about, like getting on a certain soccer team or baseball team or something, and we don't get chosen. And sometimes God cuts off things that we think are really good and are going to make our life good, and he says, no, I don't want that thing in your life. Okay? And so we just want to make sure that we don't cut ourselves off from him. Okay? We don't want to say like, no, God, I don't want to obey you. I don't want to love you. Then we're like that branch that you take into your bedroom that is not connected to the true vine and cannot live disconnected like that. So when Jesus says that I am the true vine, he says, remain with me, stay with me by loving me and obeying me, and then good fruit will come out of you and will come out of me. Now I want to pray before I show you today's craft, so fold your hands so not playing with anything. Close your eyes so no one distracts you. Jesus, thank you that we can be connected to you, the true vine, and that is our job. And Lord, you make good fruit come out. You help us to be patient and loving and kind, and you make good things come out of our life and for our life. And I pray that these kids would just remain in you, that they would stay connected, they would obey, and they would love you and love the people that you put around them. I just thank you that you love us no matter what. We love you, Jesus. Amen. Okay, now I told you about the first craft, which was that kinetic sand. Now here's something else you can do for today's craft, and you don't have to do it this way, but if you're looking for something a little more interesting, you can. So I first want you to write today's verse on the bottom that says, I am the vine, you are the branches. And that's John 15:6, okay? And that's your first job, because when you look at this, I want you to remember. Now, Natalie's going to tell us about the special paint that we made today. Tell them about how you made today's paint.
So we put 2 packets of Kool-Aid and some water.
And what was the final ingredient?
Cornstarch.
Yeah, cornstarch again. We used it for 2 things today.
Yeah.
We used green Kool-Aid, of course, for the green paint. We used purple for the purple paint. And we found, although we were going to try to use a paintbrush, we found that
just pouring it on there worked.
pouring
and
it
it actually feels like oobleck.
Yes.
When you like do it with a stick or something, it's really like oobleck.
Yeah, it's a lot like oobleck, if you've ever made oobleck. Now, yeah, we found that it was better. So we were making a vine out of the green. That's why we did green and purple, and sort of like grapes out of the purple. So you can see like
it more looks like brown, but
okay. You can see that it does a little better if you pour it on. It worked better for us. You can use a paintbrush if you want. But we made a vine out of the green and then some purple clusters of grapes. Oh, and Natalie's going to show you her final product here. She's been working on her kinetic sand. Ooh, I like this better than the first batch even.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
I put too much oil in that. So.
You can't see it.
So
this, that's the craft for today, and the last I am statement, number 7. I added it to my poster, and you can do the same. I put, I am the true vine, and I drew sort of like a grapevine up there. And so if you've been working on your poster, you should have all 7 now. And we are still going to be talking about a few more important things to know about Jesus, but we are done with the I am statements. So I hope you enjoyed them. And what did you want to say?
The paint is edible, but it's kind of gross to eat.
Okay.
So like, it's made out of everything you can eat, but I would rather you not eat it.
Okay. She
but it smells
tested it.
really good. It smells so good.
Natalie tested it for you, so you don't have to. The cornstarch and Kool-Aid paint. And so we hope that you have a great week and join us again next week. Goodbye, Cornerstone kids.
Bye.